Collins. I'm joined with
Brother Wolf here.
and we are the Benchmark Podcast, where we try to use our life experiences and our critical thinking and put them together, synthesize them, if you will,
To help you do better.
and help us do better.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a few failures that I've had to relegate on the podcast, and since then I've done better. But this is one where someone else didn't do better. So we're talking about two things right now: fraud and credit. So let me go ahead and set up the scenario. Bunch of youngsters coming in, checking their IDs to make sure that they're valid. I don't have to deal with no bull. And there's first girl who's just not the bee's knees. She needs help, and that's why this podcast is going directed to her. The second one is intelligent friend. I'm not worried about her at all. Girl number one gives me a Louisiana ID. It's cool, good, whatever. Intelligent friend sees it and says, "Hey, I see you have a Louisiana ID. Did you go ahead and do that credit freeze thing because of the DMV stuff?" Now, let me go ahead and interrupt right here. In case you didn't know, around June or mid-June, the DMV, or Office of Motor Vehicles, for Louisiana and Oregon got hacked. Louisiana had 6 million victims. Oregon, I don't know how much. And so it's frustrating, but it's one of those things where go ahead, check your credit, freeze your credit to make sure you're not going to suffer from any falsely opened car accounts, credit cards, any of that foolishness. You following me so far?
Yep.
Well, intelligent friend was like, yeah, you should go ahead and check your credit and institute a freeze if necessary. Would it not the bee's knees say? Oh, I don't have a credit card, so I don't have to worry about that anyway. I wish you could see how quickly my brother put his head down. My love, that is not how credit works.
No.
That is not how credit works. So I'm bringing this to light because, number one, if you weren't aware, there was a ginormous breach, and breaches happen all the time. And two, it's just good to be on top of your standing anyway, whether it be credit or not.
It costs nothing to check your credit at least, 3 times a year? I think it might be 3.
One to 3, 1 to 4, depending on how you count. But you should at least do it annually.
Right.
One of the things I love doing is when it's Christmas time and nobody's around and you've just got that extra time, go ahead and try and put a handle on your finances. Do some purging, get some crediting limit increases if you can do it, stuff like that. But for the individual who thought that since she didn't have a credit card that she was, I can't even say it, it hurts. What you need to be aware of is that credit is multifaceted. Employers use credit to determine if they'll hire you.
Right.
Your car insurance rate can be determined by your credit. You could be denied a housing application based off your credit.
It's important whether or not you have credit cards or not. Definitely.
So understand that having a credit card and the concept of credit are different things. Jay-Z during the story of OJ, what's more important? Credit.
Right. I mean, there could be a complete correlation in between knowing your worth and understanding your value, in whether or not your credit card score what it is. It's because we've been working on doing a podcast on the rules of power, and one of the things about it is your reputation and how important it is, and this does connect to that conversation too.
Because, like it or not, credit score, credit reporting is how others value your fiduciary worthiness. Is that a fair statement?
Definitely.
And it don't matter if you like it or not, the game is being played. And I understand what Dave Ramsey says. I'm a Dave Ramsey fan. But sometimes manual underwriting is not as easy or available in your area, and you have to play by their rules. And it's garbage. It sucks. It really does. Right. But you know what the fuck you have to do? Suck it up, Buttercup. Realize this is how to get... It's all about the game.
Not how you play it.
So the point I'm making is what is credit? Credit is your worthiness as a fiduciary individual. It determines, do you pay things on time? How many things can you balance at once? And the amount of stuff that you balance at once. So credit, it includes credit cards, making payments on time, and rent has now been included on that. Medical used to be, but now it's removed from that. We're recording this in July of 2023, so that's the standard that we're using right now. But do understand that when it comes to it, your car insurance, your car note, your rent, your utility bills, all these things go into your credit score and your worthiness. So it's something you need to be aware of and why you need to be aware of it. So it's not just, you don't have a credit card. No, your score is based on a lot of these things. So I please hope everyone is aware of that concept. I hope that you know that, yes, people will deny you based on your credit. So it's in your best interest to have your credit high. So number one, you can get the best rates on things. Who do you think is going to get a better rate on a car? Somebody with a 500 credit, somebody with an 800 credit?
Obviously, the 800 credit.
So if you can have the 800,
that.
if you can have the 800, and trust me, 800 is difficult to do. So if you can go ahead and get to 730, that's better than 550.
I mean, let's put it like this: a 600-something credit score is better than a 500-something credit score. A 700-something credit score is a lot better than the 500, but it's also better than the 600. 800 credits. That's where if you are in 100 group, you want to move at least up to the next 100 group.
Yeah, as a general rule of thumb, yeah, I agree with that. And like I said, you'll lose percentage points of interest. So you're going for a car. You're going for a shitty $20,000 car. What's the new interest rate? Let's say it's 13%. Well, if you have a better credit score, they might knock it down 2 points. You might even get it closer to 10.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
I mean, it's frightening to see how much we don't know and what we weren't taught. So I'm trying to pass it on so that way y'all don't have to suffer like we did, because that was not fun.
I mean, one of the things that they talk about us millennials is sort of us millennials.
I'm a millennial.
is the fact that we weren't good at teaching Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and everything like that. And so this is a teaching moment for us millennials to, the rest of the generation.
To pass it on down. Yeah. So, from getting an apartment, getting a better rate on whatever, whether it be the credit card, the home loan, the insurance, whatever, do what you can to go ahead and have a good credit score. Pay on time, have a good debt-to-income ratio, and try to make sure you don't use a lot of credit to begin with. So with that said, I think that was an easy one, but that threw me off to see this person in the confidence that was said. Oh, I don't have to worry about it.
You know what's worse than being wrong is being confidently wrong. It's like, I'm not just going to run into this wall. I'm going to run into this wall full speed.
All I see is Elmira. I'm coming, fuzzy buddy. It's whack. Knock the dog shit out yourself. All because what? You didn't know any better. No one taught you. But even worse, I'm teaching you now, and if you decide to hold on to that misinformation, God help. God save the queen, but he can't help you.
Closing time, brother.
It's closing time. I'm going to have a drink off that one. Y'all be good or be good at it. Make sure your credit's on point.
Thank you for listening to the Benchmark Podcast, a product of Benchmark Media, LLC, where we always attempt to establish a positive benchmark. We would like to remind everyone that the views and opinions expressed are strictly the views and opinions of each individual, and those views do not reflect the stance of Benchmark Media. Any opinion stated is not to be construed as professional advice or help. Please contact a professional for any help you may require. We would like to thank all of our guests for today and also for contributions of our listening family. Remember to contact us at therealbenchmarkpodcast@gmail.com or www.therealbenchmarkpodcast.com, or you can follow us on social media, Facebook or Instagram. And if you'd like to be a friend of the show, you can donate to us on our PayPal.
You can give me a drink.
All rights reserved by Bench Up Media, LLC.